Well, hello there once again, everyone. It's good to be back. I took a couple weeks off. I had some videos to upload, every Friday like usual, but that's pretty nice. Beautiful day today. It is 8 a.m. in the morning. I think it's about like mid 70s right now. Very beautiful. You got the sun out and everything. So anyways, today we're going to be talking about being sick is unnatural. And this is something that I've realized beginning to eat better. So I pretty much only eat, I think I've told you guys this before, I pretty much only eat meats and fruits, in particular beef. A lot of ground beef because it's cheaper, obviously. And oranges, because oranges are very hydrating. Have a lot of juice in them, right? And as little fiber as possible. Try to stay away from fiber because for some reason I can handle a bit of fiber, which makes sense, but not too much. So fiber is basically just indigestible plant material, so it makes sense that eventually it's going to upset your stomach. But yeah, for some reason when I have too much fiber, it ends up making my stomach like hurt really bad, and I end up feeling like having like digestional tract issues, and I end up feeling basically like I am pretty much getting food poisoning, which is really weird. It doesn't happen unless there's like a certain threshold. It's kind of interesting. I don't know what that threshold is exactly, how many grams of fiber or whatever it is, but I can eat cantaloupe, like a I don't know, like a little bowl of it for like 2-3 days straight, and then by like that third day I end up getting issues. So it's really interesting. But anyways, yeah, so talking about being sick is unnatural. If you think about it, like I said, naturally speaking, if you're out in the wilderness, right, you're a normal human being, you're living out in nature, you're in the rainforest, whatever, the forest, and you're typically eating meat, right? That's what we eat. If you're in tropical climates, you're gonna have like coconuts and other kind of like tropical fruits, mangoes, maybe oranges, I guess. I don't know where they come from exactly, but yeah, so you're gonna have these berries, whatever, so it makes sense. And if you're in nature and you're constantly getting sick, because I know some people who are, I mean, pretty much sick like every other week. They have colds, major under eye bags, just having diarrhea issues, stomach issues all the time. If you were doing something like this in nature, yeah, you would not live very long. First off, because you have other tribes, other people around you, but you also have animals and stuff like this. I think if you had your own tribe, you would be able to rely on them, and they would be able to like protect your hut and things like this. But against the elements though, yeah, I mean, I guess if you had some kind of hut or shelter, it would be a lot easier, obviously. But yeah, you're not going to be able to, because think about this, you're going to be dragging down, yeah, it literally just makes no sense that you'd be sick out in nature, because you wouldn't be able to hunt, you wouldn't be able to get food. I mean, obviously you have your tribe, your family, you would be able to get more food, but imagine all of your tribe is occasionally getting sick. I mean, at some point you guys probably aren't gonna have enough food to, endure the elements and things like that, right? Eventually at some point. Also, like I said, other tribes would, if you're a tribe who's constantly getting sick all the time, another tribe would easily be able to destroy you, because you would have less people on the lookout, you'd have less able-bodied people to actually fight, right? But yeah, it's definitely different in nature when it comes to that though too. But yeah, it really doesn't make sense that something that is natural, which is healthy for you, would be causing you to be sick, right? So yeah, it doesn't make sense that natural people would, like, who are living naturally, would be sick. They also tend to have, if you look at the last tribes left in the Amazon rainforest, they tend to have very broad faces. As you can see on my face, it's relatively narrow. I know that my face is underdeveloped because I had 8 teeth pulled and then I had braces. Yeah, if you had a broad jaw, it would not be, you would not need 8 teeth pulled. So anyways, yeah, so being sick is unnatural. I also know this from the way that I eat. Typically if I add something in or eat something that I know I shouldn't, which doesn't really happen, but I have had in the past, like, you know, I have ate like ice cream or something like that, right? Or I've had, I don't know, let me see what else, like maybe a cheeseburger, just because like someone's buying it for free for me. And like I think I had it when I first came home from my trip that I had, so I was like, yeah, I don't know, I was just like hanging out with like my family and stuff like that. I'd been away for a little while, and yeah, I can tell that like once I start getting clean again, like back on my regular diet, just eating like ground beef and like oranges and things like this, you know, milk, juice, high quality, it's like raw milk, whatever, and I'll eat something, or I'll try like a different meat or something like that, or like I'll get, like for example, recently I got some meat from Costco, and it was giving me like this kind of like weird anxiety feeling. And I don't know, maybe that makes sense that your body reacts that way. And I think that a lot of people who have anxiety issues, because we have a lot of people who have like panic attacks, mental health issues, all these other things, right? And actually I think what that comes from, because a lot of what I've realized at the grocery stores, like your food chains like Rayleigh's, Costco, things like this, maybe Walmart, I've never had meat from Walmart, but when you eat this meat, I think because it's quite literally poisoning you to a certain degree, because it's not healthy, the animal wasn't healthy, in good conditions, it wasn't fed properly, that when you eat it, you're essentially like poisoning yourself. And that's where the anxiety is actually coming from. I maybe could make a separate video on this, but we could just talk about it right now, about being sick or having like these anxiety issues and things like that. I think is also quite unnatural, because like, yeah, if you've ever watched videos on like tribal people, they're very calm and chill people, and the reason why is because they're actually healthy, normal, sane human beings, right? So yeah, it really doesn't make sense that you would have like panic attacks and like anxiety and things like this, right, if you're out in the wilderness. And yeah, it wouldn't aid you in your survival, right? So pardon me. But yeah, I can tell a huge difference, and that's the thing that's like so good about eating like a limited amount of food, and that's really like pretty clean, right? Is when you add something to your diet, you can immediately tell what it does to you. So there's like certain foods that maybe like stuff you up a little bit more. There's certain foods that give you kind of more like anxiety, and there's other foods that maybe make you kind of more gassy or like burpy and stuff like this. And there's also other foods that give you more like acid indigestion and like heartburn and stuff like that, right, too. That's more the acidic, like spicy food and stuff, a lot of spices and peppers and whatnot. But those I haven't really ate much, like really at all. Or, you know, coffee gives you like heartburn and stuff like that too. And like coffee, I think I've tried coffee like a couple times in my life, just like tasted it because someone's had it, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's really interesting. I know a lot of you guys probably aren't going to understand unless you eat relatively clean as well too, but yeah, it can be pretty strict, but I don't know, you feel way better when you're not sick, right? But yeah, also when I was in Japan, I had like fried food, and immediately after having like this, it was like a fried, I think it was like a fried crab cake thing, and like pretty much immediately after that, and like the whole night, I basically had like major just diarrhea, feeling terrible, fever. Yeah, it was really bad. So yeah, eat healthy, be healthy, eat healthy so you can be healthy. So anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.